everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to this session. Please let me know first of all if I'm properly audible and visible to all of you. All good to go? I'm starting a regular practice series for all of you for CSAT exam here. And we have comprehension topic, which is something you people must practice on a regular basis because you have to maintain speed, comprehension बढ़ाना होता है, and of course you need to know the ways in which we can handle multiple questions. So the strategy is developed in any comprehension question is through practice. We will start getting more of it. You will start understanding more of the question and the option and how to rule out and not. Okay. So we will quickly start. For those who don't know me, I'm your faculty of English, Niharika John Mehra, and I have been teaching English for more than 10 years now. So we are going to do some questions again, जो कि comprehension के हैं. Please remember, you have to work in a way where you are okay. So when you get four options, okay, for any question, you can get an indirect question, crux of the message of the passage author wants to convey, inference and assumption. These two questions are the primary questions which we get to see. Now you get four options for all of them. Okay, you need to do both the things. Okay, you have to select the right answer and eliminate the rest. Okay, what you will be doing is not one thing alone. बहुत सारे लोग eliminate कर देते हैं and then whatever is left they without reading choose that as an answer. Some people select the correct one, the answer, but they don't eliminate rest of them. Try to combine both of them to confidently answer a question and you will be through. Okay, we'll start with the first question. I'll also give you timer. Chalo. I hope question is properly visible to all of you. No rush. Currently, we are not working on the speed, we are focusing on the accuracy. Yeah. So, whenever we do a question of assumption, you need to think अगर A आपका आंसर है, okay, if A is your answer, B is your answer, whatever you think, that is the first thought जो author के mind में आया होगा, that author might have thought, and based on that he has written the passage. Okay, so for this one, definitely answer is A. But as I told you, selecting the correct, rejecting, eliminating the rest is very important. So you will see what the passages say. The richer states have responsibility to cut down carbon emissions. Carbon emissions को cut down करना, promote करना. These are the states that got electricity, grew faster, have everything good. Okay. Now, Delhi, for example, can help by generating its own clean electricity using solar rooftop. It is no secret that electricity boards, which control 95% of the network, are neck deep in losses. These losses further discourage utilities. तो we get to see एनर्जी के बारे में यहाँ पे ऑथर ने लिखा है. नाउ इसने क्या अज्यूम करा होगा? The richest states must lead in the production and adoption of renewable energy. That's why he is exemplifying from the first half. Richer states के ऊपर responsibility है. This is true if A is true and that is your answer. The poor state always have to depend on rich states. This is not जिसके बारे में any hint we get in the passage. So irrelevant option है. State electricity boards can improve their finances by undertaking clean projects. ये तो factually wrong है. Passage में तो कुछ और बोल रहा है. The high economic disparity is major cause of high carbon emissions. Again, कार्बन एमिशंस के बारे में जो बात हुई है उसका मेजर कॉज या कॉजेस के बारे में अगर होता तो ऑथर उस पर फोकस करता, विच ऑथर हैजंट. तो डी भी आंसर आपका नहीं होगा. नेक्स्ट वन. Interesting question it is. वैसे तो मैं आपको 2-2 मिनट दूंगी टू आंसर. So answer here is D. The story goes like this. First, we read the question, of course. This is a sensitive issue based story which tries to sensitize the readers about. So, क्या theme है basically? That is your question. Set against a rural backdrop is the story of a couple, Guleri and Manak, who have been happily married for several years, but they don't have a child. Manak's mother is desperate to have a grandchild to carry the family name. Hence, she gets Manak remarried in Guleri's absence. Now, Manak, who acts as a reluctant but passive spectator, informed by a friend that Guleri, on hearing about second marriage, poured kerosene on her clothes and set fire to them. तो एक इंसिडेंट होता है यहाँ पे, that old mindset of must have a child kind of a thing that leads to this second marriage of this person. Now Manak is heartbroken and begins to live as if he were a dead man. He is in despair. When his second wife delivers a son, Manak stares at the child for a long time and blurts out, taking away his stinks of kerosene. He has lost his mind. Okay, he has lost his mind. He acts as a reluctant but passive spectator. Okay, now देखो यहाँ पे क्या हो. Male chauvinism and infidelity. Some of you can think that this is infidelity because he is unfaithful and gets married to someone else, but this is not the story is about. You need to talk about the issue based story. What is the main issue mentioned here? It is not about people going around and being unfaithful in marriage. He had to do it because his mother forced. So this was no correct option. Love and betrayal, this is again not the story about it. बहुत ही irrelevant सा point है यहाँ पे. It is about the generation keeping, making sure that the generation keeps going ahead. It is about producing children, family line बड़ी होना चाहिए. This is the patriarchal mindset. He himself has participated in it. There has to be a child. If not from the one, then you, who cares? Just get married. So this is the influence of the mindset we get. Now, saying that the lack of legal safeguards for women is too narrow to be understood from the passage. इतना narrow option आपका आंसर नहीं हो सकता. Sorry. Clothes के लिए them. Okay. Is it clear now? Any plural noun, which is even a non-living thing, can be represented by a pronoun they, them, their. You didn't tell me. थोड़ा सा corner से you are unable to see. रुको मैं adjust करती हूँ. I just realized. I'm so sorry, guys. Good job. That's your answer. So, which among the following is the most logical and rational inference? Inference means in lines के बीच में hidden. Okay? इस paragraph के पीछे छुपा हुआ meaning. That's what you have to figure out. Okay? So यहाँ पे the ultimate aim of government is not to rule or control by fear, nor to demand obedience, but to free every man from fear, he may live in all possible security. Okay, that's the vision. In other words, to strengthen his natural right without injury to himself. सब कुछ करने वाला हो सके. The object of government is not to change men from being rational, begins it to be so puppets. It should enable them to develop their minds and bodies in security, to employ their reason unshackled. Basically, here author is saying कि ultimate aim of government is कि हर तरीके से एक man secure feel करे. The true aim of government is to secure the citizens their social and political freedom. So फ्रीडम से ज़्यादा सिक्योरिटी की बात करी है. यू नो दीज टू आर डिफरेंट थिंग्स. दैट्स वाई वी आर नॉट गोना टॉक अबाउट पॉलिटिकल फ्रीडम काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग हियर. ये आउट हो जाता है. The best government is the one that allows citizens to enjoy absolute liberty in all matters of life. Now इसके ऊपर अभी थोड़ा आते हैं because B और C में I am very sure I can see here कि आपको confusion definitely हुआ होगा. Okay, let's get back to it in a while. B को पहले eliminate कर दे. The best government is the one that provides absolute physical security. No, see, physical अकेले के बारे में बात नहीं करी है and ऑल मैटर्स भी बात नहीं करी. एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी बोला है. ऑल मैटर्स में इमोशंस आ सकते हैं, है ना. इट कैन बी इन्वायरमेंट रिलेटेड, सराउंडिंग रिलेटेड. They are saying that them to develop their minds and bodies in security. That kind of relation I see is too broad to be true. The primary concern is to provide absolute social security that relates to mind and body, and also in the beginning we get to see he may live in all possible security to all its citizens. सबके लिए है वो, तो all its citizens में problem नहीं था, but we can see very well हम हमारे rights की, natural rights की बात कर रहे हैं, to exist and work without injury, so that relates to the social security part. लेकिन all matters बोल देना ज़्यादा broad कर देना हो जाएगा उसे, and that's why B answer है. So there is a concept, I'll quickly tell you and then आपको next question बताती हूँ. Any option, inference का especially, if it is half true, half wrong, it is wrong answer. If it is too narrow, extreme है, then it is wrong answer. If it is too broad, too general, then also it is a wrong option. चलिए अगला करेंगे. Make sure to like and share the session, guys. Please read carefully before you answer. We'll give you a couple of extra seconds here because of the length of the question. Please answer here. It's an assumption question. Okay. There are two ways in which we can try assumption question. First is you think if A is true, then in the same tone, the passage or the message of the passage is true, okay, in the same context. The other is you negate it, okay. So if you think A is answered, the task of providing service is not a complex issue. आप इसको नेगेट करो. इट इज नॉट अ कॉम्प्लेक्स इशू. इफ आई अज्यूम दिस, इज माई पैसेज करेक्ट? इफ नॉट, नेगेट करने के बाद भी नॉट है, देन दैट इज योर अजम्पशन. थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स है, किसी दिन बाद में मैं डिटेल में आपको ये टेक्निक बताऊंगी. फॉर नाउ द आंसर इज बी. ओके, let's see what my passage is talking about. Municipal corporations are understaffed. Issue of skills and competencies poses an even greater challenge. People are incompetent here for the jobs. Under services delivery infra are complex to plan and execute. They require high degree of specialization. So, professional staff नहीं है या educate नहीं है. The current framework within which municipal employees, including senior, are recruited does not factor in the technical managerial required competencies required. Rules only specify the bare minimum. There is no mention of the other competencies of relevant work experience. This is the case with most municipal corporations. They also suffer from weak design, organization design and structure. सो मेन इशू इज जो स्टाफ है वो बेयर मिनिमम क्राइटेरिया पर है एंड जो टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसीज, प्रोफेशनल कॉम्पिटेंसीज है वो मिसिंग है. इस मैसेज को कौन सा हमारा ऑप्शन मैच कर रहा है, सिंपल लैंग्वेज में उसे ढूंढो. द टास्क ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग अर्बन सर्विस इज कॉम्प्लेक्स इशू and that requires organizational expansion of municipal bodies. Is the passage talking about कि बॉडीज इनफ नहीं है, इशू बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स है तो नंबर ऑफ पीपल बढ़ा दो और लोगों को हायर कर लो? नो. So this was not my assumption. Lack of skilled staff, ये तो है, आगे पढ़ो, is due to absence of institutions which offer the skills in the city management. Again, ये relevant नहीं है because अगर ये सच होता, if this would have been true, then author would have written about uh, how there are only a few institutions. They take care of making sure people get right skills. So it is not about it. Our country is not taking advantage of demographic dividend to manage problems. Author तो यहाँ बोल रहा है कि जो हैं already, these people are not up to the mark. So वो भी गलत है. Now CB, our cities can provide better quality of life if local government bodies have adequate staff with required. See, this is true. If this is true, then the whole passage stands true. सोचो, ऑथर ने सोचा होगा यार अगर ना स्टाफ जो है वो और बेहतर हो जाए स्किल्स में, डेफिनेटली इम्प्रूवमेंट आ सकता है. ये थॉट आया. अब सोचो कि उसने ये पैसेज लिखा तो ये पैसेज एक मीनिंग दे रहा है उस थॉट को, एंड दैट्स व्हाई आंसर बी है. assumption के inference के काफ़ी questions practice करने होते हैं people. You have to practice a lot before you come to a point where you are able to answer them correctly in a given time period, like in within a minute and so आप उसको अच्छे से practice करो. Regular classes आओ. I am here Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays to take classes for CSAT. I'll talk about it. Right now I'm not gonna comment on the word. जो भी समझ में आ रहा है, जो लग रहा है, एक अंदाजा लगा के करो. It's very important for you people to keep working on your vocab. The word corollary means consequence, outcome. In other words, ये message क्या है passage का. Okay. So let's see ये message क्या है passage का. Okay. Now flamingos in large flocks in the wild are social extremely loyal. Okay. So यहाँ पे फ्लेमिंगोज के एक नेचर को बताया है. दे परफॉर्म ग्रुप मीटिंग डांसेस. Parents are fond of their chicks, gathering them into creches for protection, while both males and females fly off to search for food. तो एक बहुत ही ह्यूमन फैमिली टाइप वाला यहाँ पे एक सिस्टम है फ्लेमिंगोज. तो आपको इससे मैसेज एक कंक्लूजन क्या मिलता है. कंक्लूजन, ओके, अ लॉजिकल कंक्लूजन इज कोरोलरी. Social behavior in some species of birds, because flamingos अकेले की बात है तो some species of birds increases the odds of survival in an unsafe world. See, देर उनके जो बच्चे हैं, पेरेंट्स आर फॉन्ड ऑफ देयर चिक्स, गैदरिंग देम इनटू क्रैशेस. क्रैशेस मतलब जहाँ वो अपने बच्चे को छोड़ के जा सकते हैं अंडर समन्स केयर, कोई दूसरा ध्यान रख रहा हो. all species, see, all, only, none, ये वाले एक्सट्रीम वर्ड्स होते हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाई ऑल स्पीशीज के बारे में तो हम ये नहीं बोल सकते. दैट्स व्हाई डी वाज आउट. Only birds have the capacity to develop social behavior. How can we say this? Only birds. This para is only about flamingos, one of these species of birds. तो ये नहीं होगा. Mass nesting in all species. आपको ज़्यादा समझने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं थी. इफ़ यू नो कि एक्सट्रीम ऑप्शंस क्या होते हैं, इफ़ यू अंडरस्टैंड, यू नो कि हम ऐसे किसी पैरा में वेयर वन नेम ऑफ दैट टाइप ऑफ बर्ड इज गिवन, आई कैन नॉट कंसिडर देम ओनली और ऑल. बस उतना तो समझ लेते हैं, आंसर सी था इसका. क्रैशेस डे केयर जैसा होता है क्रैश सिस्टम वेयर usually these days if parents both of them are working, they leave their child, their toddlers, and then they work. वो डे केयर सिस्टम को ही क्रैश बोलते. एग्जैक्टली, ये में भी ऑल स्पीशीज था तो वो कैसे सकता था ना आंसर. B is the answer. Vast numbers of Indian citizens without accounts live in rural areas and they are financially functionality illiterate and have little experience with technology. So, ये situation हो गई. A study was conducted in a particular area in which electronic wage payments are meant to go directly to the poor. So एक study में ऐसा हुआ. अब observe क्या हुआ? Recipients often assume that the village leader needs to mediate the process and was the case under the previous paper-based system. सो पहले जो पेपर बेस्ड था उसमें देयर वाज दिस विलेज लीडर इन्वॉल्व और उन लोगों को लगा रेसिपिएंट्स को हु गॉट द मनी डायरेक्टली दैट इसमें भी ऐसा ही होगा. Among households under this area research claimed to have at least one bank account. Over a third report still receiving wages in cash directly from a village leader. Okay, so over a third, one third still reported कि वो लोगों को कैश मिल रहा है, but it's just one third. Rest of them they do have at least one bank account in the family. Now, what is the crucial message that we get from here? It is essential to provide literacy to the rural poor so that they don't depend on this village leader और direct उसका benefit जो है wages का वो ले सके. दिस इज द मैसेज. आफ्टर रीडिंग ऑल द डिटेल्स आप खुद ही सोचोगे अरे यार अगर थोड़ा और इन लोगों को लिटरेसी होता तो दे वुड हैव टेकन डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट एंड उनको किसी पर डिपेंड नहीं होना होता है ना. दिस इज अ नेचुरल थॉट दैट कम्स आफ्टर रीडिंग दिस पैसेज. अब हम ए बी और सी को एलिमिनेट करते हैं. मनरेक्स should be extended only to those who have a bank account. ये तो बहुत ही स्पेसिफिक हो गया. only to those ऐसा तो कहीं नहीं है. a third, in the worst case, if they don't have an account, village leader is there, so gone. Paper based systems is more efficient. Author is saying the opposite of it, तो ये भी गया. The goal of electronic wage payments was not to eliminate mediation by village leader. It is to eliminate. It is to give them direct benefit. So C भी opposite of what is written in the passage है. फिर डी ऑप्शन में 3 भी आएगा. पार्डन मी, टाइपो एरर. Answer is only the second one. Of course, वो 3 matter का नहीं था, but I just wanted to sure you people think of it. Now, with the reference, consider the following statements और इन तीनों में से which thing is true as per the passage. सो पैसेज क्या बोलता है? इंडिविजुअल्स, ग्रुप्स एंड लीडर्स हु प्रमोट ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट ऑपरेट अंडर स्ट्रॉन्ग इंस्टीट्यूशनल पॉलिटिकल कंस्ट्रेंट्स। सो हर तरीके के कंस्ट्रेंट्स हैं दैट अफेक्ट पॉलिसी ऑप्शंस, बट experience suggests broad principles for shaping what an appropriate agenda for whom, for what, for human development. Experience बोलता है broad principles are needed. One important finding from several decades of human experience is that focusing exclusively on economic growth is problematic. तो एक problematic चीज यहाँ पे है जो हमने इतने सालों में सीखी है, that author is saying that it is focusing exclusively is problematic. While we have good knowledge about how advance health and education, how to advance these two, causes are much less certain and growth is elusive. Growth एकदम clear cut चीज नहीं है उस चीज को समझने की. Further, an unbalanced emphasis on growth is often associated, ये often associated होता है negative environmental consequence से, और adverse effects होते हैं जो distribution related होते हैं. Experience of China, China का एग्जाम्पल है. With all its massive record growth reflects broader concerns. Growth है लेकिन फिर भी concerns तो हैं. So that's how it is. Now, focusing only on human development should be the goal of economic growth. ये तो उल्टी बात हुई ना. अभी ऑथर ने क्या बोला है? That focusing exclusively is problematic. तो third out है तो I have two options out. Now only one or only two. Of course both सही नहीं हो सकते. So you eliminate one or select one. किसी में भी आंसर मिल जाएगा. In developing countries, a strong framework is only requirement. Only extreme word है और भी requirement है तो यहाँ से चला जाता है ना. Human development and economic growth are not always interrelated. So we saw that ना कि ग्रोथ होने के बाद भी अलग कंसर्न्स हैं. चाइना का जो एग्जांपल दिया. सो सेकंड वाज समथिंग आई कुड हैव अंडरस्टूड फ्रॉम द पैसेज. ओके, सो द पैसेज रिमेन्स सेम. अभी क्वेश्चन आपका बदल गया है. सो दिस टाइम यू शुड नॉट टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. आंसर इज ओनली द सेकेंड वन. अगेन assumptions की बात है ना. assumptions to remind you are the things that if are true, the passage is based on that first thought. Okay, so higher economic growth is essential to ensure reduction in economic disparity. So author अगर इस बात को सच मानता that the economic growth, higher growth is necessary to make sure that disparity जो है वो reduce हो, तो सही है क्या ये passage? Has he explained this thought, first one in the passage? Second one, environmental degradation is sometimes a consequence of economic growth. So जब आप पढ़ते हो इसको, so you get to see that individuals who promote human development under all the that political constraints, they operate under such thoughts. उनके पास कंस्ट्रेंट्स है, फ्रीडम नहीं है. एक्सपीरियंस सजेस्ट करता है ब्रॉड प्रिंसिपल्स नीडेड होते हैं, है ना. देन वी गेट टू सी दैट एक्सक्लूसिवली फोकसिंग करना ग्रोथ पे प्रॉब्लमेटिक होता है. देन वी गेट टू सी अनदर थिंग दैट वी हैव गुड नॉलेज ऑफ हाउ टू एडवांस हेल्थ एजुकेशन में. द कॉजेज ऑफ ग्रोथ आर मच सर्टेन. ग्रोथ को ऑथर इतना वेटेज नहीं दे रहा है. Further, unbalanced emphasis on growth is associated with negative environmental consequences. तो अगर एम्फेसिस प्रॉपर नहीं है ग्रोथ पे जितना होना चाहिए, ना ज़्यादा ना कम, then it affects the environmental consequence. So yes, environmental degradation is sometimes a consequence of economic growth. अगर unbalanced है तो फिर वो असर करेगा. So only the second one. I hope आपको समझ में आया ये वाला क्वेश्चन. Any doubt? Environmental degradation कैसे समझेंगे? Okay. You don't look first of all for exact match of a given word, है ना? हमको समझ के करने होते. So at this point, further जो author समझा रहा है, he says an unbalanced emphasis on growth, मतलब कि जितना होना चाहिए, again if it is not as much as needed, it is often associated with negative consequence. Negative consequence degradation है. So environmental degradation is not always but sometimes a consequence, a result of economic growth. तो वही तो ऑथर बोल रहा है. ऑथर तो यही बोल रहा है ना कि ग्रोथ अकेला कैसा भी ग्रोथ हो जाए डजंट मीन कि प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई. ओके, सो आई थिंक नाउ इट इज क्लियर पीयूष. So we are done here. I hope you people have learned a lot. For those who are unaware of my class timings and all, let me quickly tell you my classes here are on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. These are at 1:30 p.m. and अभी हम CSAT का preparation start कर दिए हैं यहाँ पर. On other days, that's Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, 1:30 p.m. I have classes on our other channel, CGB IBPS Hub. वहाँ पर हम SBI PO मेंस क्लर्क मेंस की तैयारी कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. So these classes are there on these two channels. Extra class on this channel 8 p.m. every Saturday we have. Okay. तो ये मेरा शेड्यूल है. फॉर मोर डिटेल्स ऑफ आवर पेड कोर्सेज, एग्जाम टारगेटेड कोर्सेज, आप डिटेल्स डिस्क्रिप्शन में ज़रूर चेक करें. ओके, so take care. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and share. See you later.